Well, welcome back to another episode of Pizza Class. Today's video is about pizza ovens. If you think about the big differences between a pizzeria and your home, one of the biggest would have to be the oven. Now, there are two kinds of pizzeria style ovens, at least two kinds that we'll need to talk about. One is a lower temperature oven. You may see these in large stacks inside the back of a pizzeria. They look like deck ovens. Or they might be an air bake oven with a conveyor belt that moves the pizzas through. The good news about those ovens is they don't run at very hot temperatures. Now, the pizza oven at a professional pizzeria that you sometimes see are the ones that are fired with wood or coal, and those can get extremely hot and they produce a very different kind of pizza, which is a bit of a problem for baking pizza at home. So how do we create those kinds of pizza in our very own kitchen? Well, let's first talk about the lower temperature ovens. The good news about a typical home oven, like Old Bertha over here, is that those ovens can get to about 550 degrees at their hottest point. And that's a perfectly acceptable range for baking pizza, most pizzas at least. So we're going to talk a lot in this episode about that kind of home oven. And then I'm going to touch on a couple of other options for people who are after that more brick oven style pizza. So, for your typical home oven, either heated with gas or electric, it works by heating up the air inside of it. And that is a great way to bake pizza. Many of the ovens you see in pizzerias bake pizza the same way. So, we like to heat our ovens to about 500 degrees. In fact, I found for home baking, 485 is just about right. And I use that setting for many of my pizzas. Now, we can't get much higher than that without causing problems inside of a home pizza oven. There's a couple other things I like to talk about when it comes to home ovens. One of the things that many people do is go to their local department store and purchase a pizza kit. And that pizza kit almost always has inside of it a pizza stone. Now, the whole idea behind a pizza stone is that you place the stone in the oven brings that stone up to a temperature, and when you set the pizza on it, the pizza immediately absorbs the heat of the stone. And in theory, that's how many ovens should work. The problem is most pizza stones that you purchase in the department store are very thin, 3/8 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, and it just simply doesn't absorb enough heat to cook a pizza as fast as it needs to. It's really not the same thing as the brick ovens that you see in commercial environments. The other drawback to those pizza stones is that it only is good for one pizza, because when you're done baking a pizza, you have to allow that stone to come back up to temperature. Well, that's fine if you're just having one pizza each night. But for families or friends, you often are making more than one pizza at a time. And so I'm going to break convention and recommend against purchasing a pizza stone. In all of my experimentation, I just haven't found that it makes enough of a difference. Even when you stack multiple pizza stones, or you put a pizza stone in the top and the bottom, I just haven't found it to be that effective. What I have found to be effective for home baking is something called a pizza screen. This is a pizza screen. You'll find these in some pizza restaurants, and you can buy them either online inexpensively or at a local restaurant distributor. This pizza screen has a lot of advantages over a pizza stone. For one thing, in an air oven, which many of our home ovens are, the air can hit from the bottom directly as well as the top. And as long as this is on the bottom rack of your home oven, you actually get a quite good bake that way, allowing the air to hit it. Another huge advantage for people just beginning with making pizza at home is the pizza screen allows you to prepare your pizza taking your time. See, remember, on a pizza stone, you have to build the pizza on a peel and then slide your pizza off of the peel and into the oven, which is where most accidents happen. So with the pizza screen, you eliminate that transfer. The pizza screen goes directly in the oven with the pizza, and you'll see me baking many of the pizzas in these videos just that way. Another advantage a pizza screen has over a pizza stone is that I can prepare many pizzas in advance. I can buy multiple pizza screens and line them up and prep all my pizzas, and all I'm waiting for is the pizza to bake in the oven. So you can get 3 pizzas baked in a half an hour, unlike what would happen if you were waiting for the stone to heat up each time. 3 pizzas could take well over an hour in that case. So I highly recommend a pizza screen investment, which is a $15 investment, rather than a pizza stone or a pizza kit from the department store. So those are a few of my thoughts on the home pizza oven, and it is a wonderful way to bake pizza, especially traditional New York style, as well as many of the other kinds of pizzas that we'll cover. It even works for Chicago style, Grandma pizza and any other tray pizza that you have to bake, I typically would bake that in my home oven. But let's talk about that high temperature brick oven style pizza. What if that's what you're really after? Can you accomplish that at home? Well, the answer is yes. And there's two ways that you can do that. One way you can do that is by grilling your pizza. Now, just placing pizza dough on top of your grill is not what I'm talking about. That is a tricky scenario, and some people do it. But you've got to grill your pizza dough with no toppings on it on one side, flip the dough over, then top your pizza and allow it to bake. It can be very tricky, and if you have direct flames, it can cause the pizza to burn. Many of the times that I see people grilling pizza, it doesn't work out very well at all when they do it that way. What I'm talking about is modifying your grill to bake pizza specifically. And if you're really into pizza and you're really after that high temperature oven, that's what you have to do. You see, charcoal grills can get well over 1,000 degrees, and that's exactly the kind of temperatures we need for baking that brick oven style pizza. You've got to get the temperature in the oven well over 700 or 800 degrees. There's a couple of things that happen when you've got temperatures like that. For one thing, the pizza bakes very quickly. The cell structure enlarges and freezes in place, and the outer crust comes to a very good crisp quickly. That means the inside is still moist and chewy and delicious, while the outside is crispy and beginning to char. And that's what many of those pizzerias are able to accomplish with a hot oven. So how do you get your grill to go to those kinds of temperatures and not burn the pizza? Well, there are a couple of manufacturers who've begun to make kits for converting your grill into a pizza oven, and that's the best way. You can either use a Weber LBE or you can use a green egg. Both of those have manufacturers who've created kits that go inside of your grill and allow you to bake pizza. Those are tremendous opportunities for pizziolos that want to make pizza at high temperatures in their home ovens. The only downside to those conversion kits is that sometimes you want to make burgers and hot dogs and you've got to take it back apart. But it's certainly an option if you're after that high temperature bake. Now, there's another option which I actually prefer, and one which I've been using for several years. And it's an oven manufactured for pizza called the Blackstone Pizza Oven. The Blackstone Pizza Oven is a propane-powered pizza oven. It's got two pizza stones inside of it, one on the bottom which rotates with a rotisserie motor, and one on the top which provides radiant heat from the flames that are coming from below. This combination allows over 60,000 BTUs of heat to be pumped into your pizza, and you can get that oven almost to 1,000 degrees pretty quickly. It heats up fast, and it's completely portable. The Blackstone Pizza Oven can run on batteries and a tank of propane, which means you can take it to the beach or take it to your neighborhood gathering and bake pizzas throughout the day. It also bakes pizzas fast. Most of the pizzas I bake in my Blackstone Pizza Oven are being completely baked in under 2 minutes. That's good news when you're making a lot of pizza, which I sometimes do. In fact, I've made 10 pizzas in just over 20 minutes for parties, and that's pretty exciting. So if you are serious about making that high temperature pizza at home, you may want to consider either a custom grill or buying the Blackstone Pizza Oven, which costs about as much as a gas grill would. So these are both options that you might want to look into, and I provided information about them in the notes of this episode as well. So when you're baking pizza at home, for most cases, you'll be fine using Old Bertha. But if you start to get very serious, or you're after that Napolitana type crust, then you're going to have to make an investment in a little bit of an equipment. But the last option is purchasing a true brick oven. Now, it sounds glamorous, but there are a couple drawbacks to that as well. For one thing, true brick ovens can be difficult to learn. You have to learn how to build a fire, you have to learn how to place a fire, you have to learn how to place pizzas, you have to learn your oven because it doesn't always evenly heat. But it is a classic way of baking pizza, and pizza's been baked that way for centuries. However, the downsides of a brick oven like that are the preheat time, which can take with wood almost 3 hours, as well as the fact that it's permanent and often expensive. So once you get to that point, you're committed to baking pizza in a brick oven in your yard, and that's terrific. But if you're looking for a less expensive option, or you just want to get that same type of crust with a little bit less of an investment, then look at the Blackstone or one of the conversion kits for the grills that I talked about. And I hope that helps you understand how to select the pizza oven that's right for you and I hope to see you soon on the next episode of Pizza Class.